Hi. The camera comes on. I don't know whether it's there, if it's not, but I'm here, and you may be there, wherever you are, whatever time you're watching this. So it's Monday morning, and I was thinking, I don't know whether it's last week at the beginning or the week before, it's going to be a crazy week, and I didn't know what was meant by that, but turns out it had been a crazy week. So, um, crazy. Ukraine Ukraine did a hit with drones in Russia and Siberia, where all the jets were kept, and managed to destroy, I think, 30 odd of them, which they can't replace. Yay, Ukraine! Go Ukraine! However, that will elicit some sort of response. Of course, it will, and what that is yet to be determined. But lots of threats, veiled threats from Putin's. Musk has been in the news, and I don't know whether it was Washington Post or someone did an article on his ketamine-fueled days with Trump, where he takes not Trump, but I don't know about Trump, but Musk takes a lot of drugs, and then became rather full of himself, even more full of himself. And there was a lot of infighting, apparently. He was not very, he thought he was better than everyone else that was in there, and was fighting with the different advisors that Trump had. So there's that. And I said way back that I thought Musk would fly too close to the sun, was the image they'd given me. So there's that. What else happened? There's something else that happened. I don't know what, I can't think of what it is at the moment. But there was something else. Those are two big things, though. That's enough. Isn't that enough? So, meanwhile, here in BC, here I sit on a cloudy day, which is normal at the beginning of the day. It's 9:30, and well, not quite 9:30, is because we get kind of a marine layer that comes in the morning, and then in the afternoon it's burned off, and or lunch 1 o'clock, maybe before, it gets sunny, and the rest of the day is lovely. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and then I will have my walk in the sunshine. So it's a Monday morning, the beginning of a week, beginning of what we typically think of a new week. If you work Monday to Friday, it is. If you're in school, it is. If you don't, well, it's just another day. But in that other day, there's energy, right? There's always energy around cycles and norms of a Monday to Friday. That's the norm, and that's the energy that most of us tap into, because that's what we grew up with. But if you don't, then there's not that energy around it. It can be very much a different kind of energy in another culture, where Monday to Friday is not a big deal, right? So there you go. Sunday, a day of rest. Was yours a day of rest? Mine was, until I decided I was going to help power wash the patio, which wasn't a big deal. My husband had done half of it, and I did half of it. It's a messy job. All the dirt splatters everywhere, and it's dirt just from, because we're next to a road, and with the traffic, and so it's just that. Anyway, I'm going to get to it. I really apparently don't have a lot to say. Don't have anything I want to read to you guys. Big dreams again last night. Strange dreams that I'm still trying to make sense of. Driving an SUV, and it went off like this, straight down, and I had my foot on the brakes, like thinking, I've done this before. I know that this is how it goes. As I'm saying it, maybe it's going to make sense. This is how it goes, is keep your foot on the brake. And when you get to the bottom, the road will be there. The road, and I felt like I was still on the road, but going straight down. And then I end up at the bottom, and it's green fields. And it's a little bit soggy, like green. I don't know how to describe it. And there were other cars there. And I thought, well, I think I got off the wrong place. That's about all I can remember. So there you go. I wonder what that's foretelling or warning me of, or what I'm sorting through. Because there's a lot of, so much going on. I mean, when you look at what's going on out in the world, and that's affecting us energetically, and we've agreed to be here for these things going on that look less than right now to some people. But if you're not paying attention, like, it's just whatever's going on in your life. So I hope whatever's going on in your life is nice. Kids are coming up the end of their school year. Teachers will be happy, 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 let me tell you, because they're as anxious as the kids to be done with the year. Teaching is a tiring job, very tiring job. So to all the teachers out there, my father was one of them. My son's a teacher's assistant. One of my sons is a teacher's assistant. To all the teachers out there, kudos to you. Kudos to you for helping the children figure it out, for being there for them. Even when you didn't think you were doing it, you were doing it. Okay. Right? And then my other son works at the university at a big university in Hamilton, and he manages their recreational facilities. Has 80, 90 students underneath him that work part-time at the front desk and kind of doing things in the facility. And so he deals with the university students, some which have, oh, there's Mary again. Hi, Mary. And he deals with the university students. Some of the stories you're like, really? These are university kids? I guess we forget what we were like when we were that age. And if we've not been, if we've not got the resiliency that I talked about yesterday built into us, then we have grand expectations that everyone's just going to roll the red carpet out for us. Things will just be done because you're there and you're a student and you paid. My son's like, no, that's not how it works here. You gotta book the room. You gotta book this court if you want to be on this court. Sorry, you can't be on this court. It's closed now. And they're like, no, but I want to be on this. You cannot be here. I will talk to your supervisor. Who do I talk to? He goes, that would be me. Isn't that sweet when you get to do stuff like that? Anyway, so it's interesting to see different viewpoints, different stages of life, right? My youngest is a new parent. My oldest has a 10-year-old. So there's the two experiences, right? And the one gets to advise the other one, even if he doesn't want to, because he's always been like that big brother, because there's 10 years difference, so he's always been very protective of him. So there we go. Yeah, I'll pull a card. So here we go. And I don't know what it's out there for you. Is your life going great? Have you had wonderful things happening? Are you back into the routine of your life after doing something cool? Or are you planning something? Are you planning a vacation for the summer? Has that plan been made already and you're looking forward to time at the cottage or time in Europe, or I don't know, so many different ways, so many different things. So first card. The creative no. Whew. The creative no. So how can you say no in a way that serves you well? How can you say no to people protect your boundaries, but allow them not to feel disappointed or ignored, right? So, how many times do you say yes to something that you really didn't want to do? Just because it was polite, you didn't want to let someone down, you didn't want to have them feel disappointed. Well, how, as you remember the card yesterday, how are they ever going to figure out and take their disappointments gracefully? Especially with kids. Parents get really good at being creative about saying no. Or I hope they do, because if they don't, they're in for a rough ride down the road. And that's why sometimes they're right. Parents just go, because I said so. Because you're at some point with little kids, there's nothing else to be said. Because they'll be like, why? Students in classrooms, my son has one like, why? There's a point. There's no answer anymore to why. It's, you just can't. Take my word for it. No. But the creative no, as an adult, right, is different. Very, very different. And there's something to be said around this card. And I had to pick out the book last time because I've only pulled it once before. Because I was a little like, As I read it, I thought, oh yeah. Do you find it difficult to get the respect and acknowledgement you want and deserve? Are you in a power struggle with authority figures? Or do you feel as though others are trying to control you? Are you pushed past your limits and filled with resentment? Your soul is alerting you to the need to break out of the pattern of frustration once and for all by assuming authority over your life as a divine being. This can only be done by setting clear limitations and learning to say no. All difficulties you face are directly connected to being unable to comfortably set your limits. I was horrible at that. I was truly horrible at that. And now I'm really good at it. Pretty good. So your soul's purpose right now is to be the true authority for your life by being absolutely clear, listen to this, absolutely clear and responsible in establishing boundaries, because it's you. You're the only one that could do this. Observe how you may surrender them by being unclear on what they are, or secretly wanting others to define them for you. So, like, hey, you're the one. You have to take the lead in this. That was the card. You take the lead in this. This is your life. And you're the one that sets the boundaries and determines what you're willing to put up with, not willing to put up with. And as an adult, you get to choose. And as an adult, then you cannot play the victim, right? Observe how you may surrender them by being unclear on what they are or secretly wanting others to define them for you. Don't look outside of yourself for this. Especially give up the idea that it's always kinder to say yes. It is not. Sometimes you're stuck. With that yes, you're stuck. You're stuck into saying yes again because they'll be like, well, you said yes before. And you're like, I didn't really mean it. How do you get yourself out of that pickle? Much easier to say what you mean and mean what you say. There are times when the creative no serves best. However, difficult it is to express and defend. Be cautious of those who are outwardly accommodating but inwardly reticent. You know, your spidey senses know this. And so you can just back off because you understand they don't have the courage or the conviction to say no. You could back off and you could say, no, never mind, not going to happen. Because overly agreeable energies will backfire later, right? You've seen that where people are ready, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then they don't, and they don't want to, and they didn't really want to, and then they're irritable, and they're get nasty or mean or whatever. Been there, done that. I've been there, done that, because I've said yes way too many times when I meant no. Your soul's lesson, recognize what your limits are and communicate them in a loving and consistent way. Be willing to confront others when necessary. Be unpopular if you must, in order to maintain your soul's sovereignty and integrity. Learning to say no takes practice. Oh, lots of practice. And you'll fumble sometimes, and that is okay, because this is the life you are living. To begin, ask yourself how saying no serves you presently, and then do it. So think of a time in your think of something going on in your life right now. Think of perhaps an invitation where you're like, I don't really want to go. But you say yes to be polite. But what if you said, I really appreciate that you've invited me. That's so nice of you. But um, I need to have my night free because I'm just not up to company. I would be bad company. What can anyone say to that? They may try and convince you otherwise. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm okay with that. And then you can say, but I'm not okay with that. And so sorry, I'm saying no. So just allow that for yourself. Okay? One more card, and then we're done at 16 minutes. So it's a be creative. So be creative in how you say no. The creative no, right? That was the other card. The creative no. Be creative. Know your audience. And if they're not buying it, just simply say, are you not hearing me? I am sorry, but the answer is no. Period. No ands, ifs, or buts. No. And that's it. It's a good thing to know, especially when you're faced with a salesperson who's determined to sell you something, or someone wants you to do something for them that you just don't want to do. Sometimes you just have to dig your heels in and go, no, period, no, until they recognize that energy. Because if that no energy isn't strong, people, salespeople especially, kids especially, they know that. They're like they see a wobbling around there. Oh, if I say no, they won't like me. If I say no, whatever. And no, you just have to stand firm in your no. I remember being in a market in Mexico, and I was looking at hats, and I looked at a hat and I thought, no, I had at home that I really like. I forgot it, but I like it. So I'm not spending $50 on another hat in Mexico. So he kept taking the price down. And I said, no. And he kept taking the price down. I said, no, thank you. And he kept taking the price. I said, look, I'm not bargaining with you. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm saying, no, I'm not buying this hat now. Thank you. And he was like, oh, he thought I was trying to negotiate with him. I wasn't trying to negotiate. So understand that some people will think that you're trying to negotiate with them unless you're very clear. Now, if you're using it as a negotiating tactic, well, be that as may, do what you want with it. But if you're just wanting to be very clear on your no, this is what I want, this is where I'm going, this is what I want to do, this is not what I want to do. Get clear on it, and then be strong in that energy, because if you're not, you're going to pushed willy-nilly around by salespeople, your own kids, your husband. Get clear, your wife, your parents, whatever, whoever's listening to this, you know that. Get clear. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's all for today. Except this one thing. There are amazing people out there. I see them everywhere. They're kind and they're loving and they smile. And sometimes they just need you to smile at them and ask them a question, and then they brighten up, and and their whole face opens up. And you are one of those people for others. You can do that too. Because each of you are amazing beings. If you're watching this, you have that within you. You have the ability to love like Jesus would love. Yeah. Be that. Be the light. Be the light. Be the light that shows people the way. And if you're watching this, you're ready for it. Okay, that's all. Take care. And we'll talk again. See you on the other side. Go for the joy. Linda, bye.